Everything happened so quick back then. You know, we were always kind of thinking, like, what can we do next?
Like if you liked the full Caballero and you were to cut it down mid-size, you had more flexibility in your ankles, that feels pretty good.
Steve would come and say, you know, all these people are putting duct tape and stuff on it. Maybe you could just make the shoe that way.
Right, but there was a resurgence.
I think when vert skating started to become less popular and street skating became more popular, Cab wanted to continue skating, and so he's always been really good about putting himself right in the middle of what's happening.
True professional, he didn't put his head down and like be all bummed about it. Steve went and skated and adapted to that.
He just had something in him that just kept on wanting to progress, and they were like forced in the street. I used to skate street with Tony all the time. They just did it because that's what was happening, you know what I mean?
Cab was right there at the birth of street style. He probably won many of the first street contests, and then he kind of laid low, and then I think at some point he went out with the tilt mode kids. Those were the new kids coming up.
This is like 96, 97, 98, like that's when we were skating with him kind of a lot, and we would go to like a giant rail and he would just like try to frontside board slide it.
He skated street, seemed pretty normal, you know, as opposed to a lot of vert skaters couldn't, or didn't, I should say. But yeah, there was that one tilt mode video, I think it was off a jump ramp, and he slammed.
It was insane. He was so good at board sliding. He did that long, mellow double kink rail, like some really big rails.
He would definitely risk a lot to get a trick.
Street Cab had the same heart as vert Cab, you know? I mean, whatever Cab's doing, he's all in, man.
Skateboarders are so creative in their own way. They just wanted to give it a different look. Maybe they didn't want to look like old washed up vert skaters with a high top shoe. It worked, you know, it caught my attention.
The kids that were in the city, like when I first started going to San Francisco, they were more conscious of not only function, but fashion, like how they looked while they were skating.
A lot of people used to just come to Embarcadero and leave Embarcadero with everything that they saw. The high top was too high, so then we cut them down.
So who invented cutting down shoes?
I think I did. I'll take that one.
Skaters are gonna do what they need to do to achieve what they want to achieve. And so if they need to cut this down to get a better result, they're gonna do it.
We see duct tape all the time, you know, on the shoe, you know, from the ollie area to trying to keep, you know, shoes together and stuff. When I see that, I go try to see what the problem is. And that particular one was Steve come and saying, you know, everybody seems to be cutting, maybe we could, you know, do this. Great, okay, good idea. Let's come in, let's make some new upper patterns.
VANS said yes. And in 1992, the very first half cab was released.
I do remember being stoked that it came out. For one, I didn't have to duct tape shoes anymore.
Julian Stranger, I think of John Cardiel, Chris Markovich, a bunch of different styles, and they all look right. We're in that.
Mike Carroll, those photos, the videos, all that stuff that was coming out at that time, that really influenced that look.
There was a time that there were no good skate shoes, or maybe just the half cab was just the shoe, the perfect shoe, especially at that time.
I was filming in these the other day, and like, I'm like walking back to try my trick. It's taking me a long time. And I'm like, actually like a little kid when I'm walking back across the street. I was in New York and I was like, God, these things are so cool. Like, it's because Fred Gall, you know, Kareem. It was like everybody cool had them.
Look how much better it looks. Everyone did it, you know what I mean? They were dope.
I think the interesting thing about the half cab with the progression of shoe culture is it always stayed a pure skate shoe.
Those things that skateboarders can call their own, they hold on to that. And I think a half cab is one of those things where it's like, this is ours. You guys don't know nothing about this.
It set that stage, didn't it? And how cool is it though that like, that is the most iconic skate shoe that there is, and it's a pro skate shoe.
The beauty of that shoe is that it transcended to everybody, and it wasn't just like a vert shoe, it wasn't just a street shoe, it was just a good looking shoe. So in that sense, Cab really designed something that was universal in skating.
I think the shoe is sustained because of the design for one, the company backing it, and all the skateboarders that wore it. You know, it's got a lot of history.